Number 1. The research reflex. Something hurts. You don't cry. You open a tab. You start searching. Attachment styles. Nervous system dysregulation. Emotional avoidance. The words feel like answers. Your chest loosens slightly. You think you're healing because you're learning. But notice what just happened. The pain arrived, and immediately, before it could land, your brain rerouted it into a question, into a framework, into something that could be understood instead of felt. This is a reflex, a fast, practiced redirect from the body to the mind. Pain comes in, the mind intercepts it. The body never gets to finish the sentence. It feels productive. It even looks like self-awareness from the outside. Research, reflection, growth. But the ache is still there, underneath the article, underneath the terminology, exactly where you left it. The information was never the medicine. Number 2. The fatigue of knowing. You can name every pattern you repeat. You can trace the wound back to its origin. You understand why you do what you do, when you do it, with whom you do it. And yet, nothing changes. That exhaustion you feel, that hollow, what's the point weight in your chest, that's not a character flaw. That's what happens when a nervous system learned early on that feeling was unsafe. Analyzing became the safer path. The mind built a structure around the pain to keep you functional, to keep you moving. Therapy, podcasts, books, journaling, all of it documented, categorized, understood. But understanding a locked door doesn't open it. You need the key. The key is feeling it, not filing it. Every layer of understanding, every named theory, every perfectly articulated insight, none of it equals 1 minute of actually letting it hurt. Knowledge without contact is just distance with good vocabulary. Number 3. The articulate shield. You describe your pain better than most therapists describe their clients. Clear, precise, almost poetic. People sit back and say, "Wow, you're so self-aware." And somewhere inside you feel proud and completely alone. Because the more eloquent the explanation, the less anyone pushes through it. The articulation becomes a barrier. You hand people a finished product, the processed, packaged version, and they accept it. They nod. They say you've clearly done the work. But finished products don't need a response. They don't leave room for someone to actually reach you. You explained it. Case closed. Next topic. Your jaw stays set. Your voice stays even. It looks like composure. It feels like freezing. You've gotten so good at translating your wounds into language that you forgot language isn't the same as healing. One speaks about pain. The other moves through it. Beautiful sentences can still be walls. Number 4. The translator's trap. You're in the middle of an argument. Your throat tightens. Your eyes sting. Something real is happening in your body right now. And instead of staying in it, you step back. You observe yourself. You think, this is probably my fear of abandonment activating. You mentally note the pattern. You become the analyst in the room. The other person is still there, still waiting, still feeling. And you are somewhere else entirely, up in the observer booth, taking notes on the person who is supposedly you. That exit made sense once. Mid-conflict, floating above your body was the only way to survive the conversation. The nervous system learned, leave before it gets worse, but the pattern outlived the danger. Now it runs in quiet arguments, in moments that are hard but safe. Feeling afraid, understanding afraid, 2 different countries. You've become the translator of your own experience, translating so fast, so constantly. You stopped being the person having it. You became fluent in a language you never learned to speak. Number 5. The insight addiction. It's 2 a.m. You're scrolling. A caption stops you cold. It names your exact pattern in 8 words. Your chest opens. You screenshot it. You feel briefly, completely saved. Then morning comes, and the feeling is gone. Insight, relief, fade, seek, insight, relief, fade. That cycle mimics emotional processing. It has the same rhythm, the same momentary release. But it's not the same thing. The insight gives you a hit of clarity. The clarity feels like resolution. But nothing beneath the clarity actually shifted. You need more. a better framework, a deeper diagnosis, a sharper metaphor for the thing you already knew 3 frameworks ago. The dopamine is real, the progress is not. You're not healing, you're collecting. Every insight another coin dropped into a jar that never gets spent. Every breakthrough another layer stacked above the unprocessed core. Clarity is not the same thing as contact. Number 6, the observer split. Someone looks at you with unexpected softness. A partner says, "I love you" during a quiet moment. No fight, no context, just that. And something in you goes very still. Not peaceful still, managed still. Your face arranges itself into something warm. Your voice finds the right words, but the feeling, the actual feeling, gets intercepted before it lands. You're already watching yourself respond. Already noting, "I'm having trouble receiving this." You notice you're anxious. You notice you're closing off. You notice all of it in real time. And somehow the noticing makes it worse. Because there's no one left inside the feeling. There's only the watcher. This split kept you safe once, when tenderness felt dangerous, when being seen meant being hurt. The observer learned to step in fast before the emotion could crest. You feel protected and completely unreachable. The watcher was never meant to live there forever. Number 7, the illusion of processing. You talked about it, wrote about it, cried a little, carefully in a controlled way. You identified the trigger, traced it back, found the pattern, closed the journal. Done. Processed. Next. Except you feel the same way 3 weeks later. Same contraction in the chest, same quiet dread before certain conversations, same flinch when someone gets too close. Processing isn't a checklist, it isn't a session. It happens in the body, in the shake, the exhale, the long pause where nothing clever gets said. It doesn't produce a summary, it produces a shift. A before and after that feel genuinely different. Intellectual processing produces a narrative about the feeling. Something happened. It meant this. This is how I'll move forward, clean, coherent, and often completely disconnected from the stored experience underneath. The story isn't the processing, it's often how you avoid it. The experience doesn't need your narration, it needs your presence. Number 8, the recursion trap. Here is the deepest cut, the one that makes the whole loop almost impossible to escape. You are now analyzing your intellectualization. You have named the pattern, you understand the defense, you can see it operating in real time, and you think, this time I really understand it. And the loop continues. The recursion trap is this. The same mechanism you use to avoid feeling can be used to analyze the avoidance. Every time you try to think your way out of intellectualization, you are intellectualizing. The throat tightens, the hands go cold, you sit with it for a moment, and then the words start forming, and the moment is gone. There is only one exit. It is not a better framework, not a sharper insight, not even this video. It is the willingness to feel something before you understand it, to let the chest open before the mind explains why, to stay in the sensation, shaking or still, without translating it. That is not weakness. That is the work the analysis was always trying to replace. The mind can describe every door, only the body can walk through. You are not broken for living in your head. You built that shelter for a reason, but you have outgrown the walls. The goal was never to stop thinking. It was to let the thinking carry you toward the feeling, not away from it. That gap is closable, one breath at a time,